Today we are going to do 5 fast first impressions. Well, technically 6 because I have something else I would like to show you guys. Starting it off, we have a super snappy knife from Trivisa, and I mean snappy. This thing is rapid deploying because of the way this flipper tab is positioned. Like here, I'm gonna try to fail it. I don't know if it's possible. Man, the detent is strong in a good way, but you have so much leverage that it's easy to slowly break it, but you can't fail this thing. And then any attempt to just try, it's almost like you're pushing the flipper tab even further. Look at how far I'm pushing it. Even farther than you would on any other knife. Super smooth. This one has the micarta scales that are slightly contoured with the finger grooves. This is absolutely a self-defense style knife. It can be used in the forward or the reverse grip. 14C 28M blade steel. You can see the designer right there. I have tons and tons of his knives. Awesome knife designer. Me and him go way back on me checking out his designs. So, like I said, yeah, this one's really, really cool. This is just a fast first impressions. It does have a reversible deep carry wire clip, which is always good. That means it's gonna be super smooth in and out of the pocket, something you can carry all the time without it destroying your pocket. The ergonomics, you know, and getting it out. The liner, by the way, good access to the liner. But when you snap it out, right, you're in the forward grip here. So here you can use it like a claw this way. I feel like it's more designed, let me just do this like this, to snap it out, pinch right here, flip over, then get it in this grip. And now you got it in the Pikal grip or the gas station knife fighting grip. And you can go to work. You know, you can do back fists, you can claw, you can stab, you can do whatever you got to do. But if you are in a pinch time, you can't spin it, you can't still forward grip it. But to me, you're going to be more clawing sideways, which I'm not a big fan of. But this will be damn good for EDC stuff. You know, like trapping rope, opening things up, you know, even breaking down some cardboard to some extent. This would be a cool EDC knife, but it's definitely a self-defense knife. I'm going to put the names of these up on the screen because I don't have all the names. Now, let's get to this next one. Now, this next one, actually, we have another Trivisa. Wow, this detent is almost too strong. Whoa. Sometimes, just so you guys know, this does happen because, you know, and I want to make it clear because I've done videos on this. Sometimes you'll get a button lock and you'll flip it and it'll be great. And then you'll flip it a few times and all of a sudden the detent, it's almost like it almost doesn't want to kick out. All it is the hardware. One part of the knife is coming loose, is expanding. So all you want to do is just adjust the screws. Adjust the screws. Sometimes you might want to loosen these up, loosen this up, and then retighten them back down evenly so the scale doesn't go down like this. So it goes down nice and flat. But anyways, nice detent, nice crispy detent. I almost thought it was too strong for a second, but this is great. I almost feel like it's going to get stronger though and have that. See, like it's even difficult for me to, well, I guess I can reverse flick it. It's a little tight though. So the reverse flick's not the best on this one. It's just, you can see it's a little tight. The hole's a little narrow. So yeah, but however, I freaking dig this blade shape. 14C 28N. This is one of my favorite blade shapes. A spear point or a harpoon, because this is, oh sorry, bayonet. This is like a bayonet style blade shape. That's exactly what it is. Now, being a bayonet style, it is a spear point. Now, my favorite would be like this without the thickest portion being right in the center, but with some knives, I do actually like that because it helps it to be very pokey and stabby with a nice durable tip that goes in really nicely, but it's great for EDC. It's actually a super functional pocket knife design or blade shape design. Basically universal across the board and just good for everything. Now, as far as the blade steel, like I said, 14C 28N, great blade steel. It is more of a budget-friendly blade steel, but in my opinion, a really, really good blade steel, especially for the money. You know, I would say under like 80 bucks or under 100 bucks. I would even pay more than that, to be honest, as long as the handle materials were good. Like, cause I love 14C, so I don't mind, you know, if the materials or locking system's unique. The handle is perfect in my hand. I mean, this just feels like I want to ram it into something. Let me check the, oh no, never mind. I don't want to poke it into anything. It failed very easily. Oh my goodness, too easily. Yeah, that was my bone too, so you can imagine. Yeah, I wouldn't want to poke it into anything because then your chances of hitting like this and it folding on your hand, you got a stopper right there, but you know, you never know. Anyways, it is slightly contoured, and I really like the finishing of this G10 with this reversible deep carry clip. I like this knife, man. I like this knife. I wish it didn't fail. And then one more, and then we got some other ones to get into, and then we're gonna get into that special thing I want to show you guys. This is another, this is another Trivisa, but I do gotta say, I kind of despise this thing. As much as I think it's cool, and I wanna say this really quick because I felt really bad. I did a video on the designer of This Is Fixed Blades. He sent them to me, and they're wicked designs, wicked designs. There was like one that I couldn't get behind just because it was so thick. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. Like, this is like a pry bar that cuts. But then he contacted me and said, that's what it was designed for. It was designed for construction. And I literally said in the video, the only thing this thing would be good for is construction. And then it was designed for that. So, you know, I think that's awesome. And I kind of want to take back some of the things I said in that video, because in that case, like, if one, it's like a fighting knife style, or two, a working knife style, like, you know, for literal hard work labor, cool. You know, in that case, you know, it was built pretty well because they were very thick, very durable. Now this is more of a, what feels like more of a self-defense slash EDC knife. It's hollow right here, flat right here, but if you look, this harpoon, one gets down to a pokey tip, but it is very thick. So if you lay back the edge bevel to make this like a great cutter, or to give it a very, very sharp edge, it's gonna be a big bevel. The blade steel on this is 14C. Love to see that. But there is one thing I want to criticize really quick. 14C is designed for thin geometry. That is what the steel is for. The steel, I'm not saying it has to be that, because, you know, if you use it in a fixed blade or something like that, then it's understandable that you might want to use it with a little bit thicker geometry. But when we're talking about 14C on a pocket knife, its performance comes out with the thin geometry. I'm just saying. Not saying there's anything wrong with this. I'm just saying, you know, like that's its best application. So, thumb studs are really good as far as placement and gripping. They have a lot of grip. It is a crossbar lock, which is a strong locking system, so I always like to say, and it's rock solid, by the way, rock solid. Now, my issue with this thing, my issue is this guy right here. I'm guessing that's steel. It looks titanium. I'm gonna just check it really quick because it does look, is that a titanium back? Maybe it's aluminum or something. I'm not sure. It looks like titanium, but I don't know. But anyways, this, when I go to use the crossbar lock, because when you use a crossbar lock, typically you pinch downward into your hand like this. And I can't, because it literally digs right into my bone. So that means I have to hold the back of it like this, pinch it right here, and then force it down, which I can do. I'm not saying I can't do that, but it's just when you're pulling down, it's like it's slipping out of your hand. So for that reason, it's kind of annoying. The next thing is when I'm really gripping down on this thing, this is painful. Like, I would not want to push something this thick through anything long term. Like I said, if you're just basic EDC, taking out of your pocket, scoring something, breaking down one piece of cardboard, it's not going to be a big deal to you. So, and that's typically what most people do with their knives, is just basic EDC stuff. They're not cutting anything, any one thing long term. But if you do use your knives for that type of stuff, like I do sometimes, you know, then you're going to want to pick certain knives, and this I don't think would be that knife. I'd pick it for something, but not for that. Deep carry clip, button screws, don't understand that. Get rid of the button screws, make them flat. It does look like T8s all the way around, which is really cool. Even on the pocket clip, love to see that. That's actually really cool. It's got a unique look. I like that. So, you know, hey, pretty damn cool. Just, you know, to me, I think there's just a couple things that could be refined on this that would knock it out of the park. Check out this special piece, and then we'll get to the next two knives, because we do have two more knives. This is a titanium belt. So we have a titanium belt buckle with a really nice leather belt, nice and thick. I think this is 1.5 inches wide, so nice and durable, nice and thick. Now here's the cool thing about it. You can size it yourself. So we're gonna do that really quick, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do this. But basically it is a titanium buckle. They have 3 or 4 different buckle designs. They have a few different buckle designs, but they're all titanium, which I'm a titanium whore, so I love it. I like titanium stuff. Not titanium everything, but I like titanium a lot of things. And in this case, you could, if you wanted, you could leave it just like this and look beautiful, but you could anodize it. You could flame anode it. You could polish it. You could do so much with it, and I like that. The titanium is nice and lightweight, yet extremely, extremely strong. Not sure how durable these are. I'm kind of worried about these screws right here. Hopefully those hold up. I imagine they would, as long as they have Loctite in them. But let's size this thing, because this thing is entirely way too big for me. I was a little confused about their sizes, but then I thought about, like, what does it matter? I get to size it myself. So basically what it is we're gonna wind up cutting this side. So it says by the way, USA made apparel. Go check it out. Link down in the description. 100% USA made Neve Knife Co. apparel. Now, so it basically says to find the middle notch that you're gonna wanna use. So that'll be right here. That is where you're gonna wanna line up onto this side, because we're gonna cut this back. So I'm gonna go just a little larger. We can always take a little bit off, but if it's the way they say, then that would be about right there. That way, when I wrap it around, let me find my notch. It would go right there. And then, yeah, then it should go to the second or third link. So now let's cut it up. Okay, so they did give me all the tools to do it, including a little blade to cut the leather, a punch tool for the punch holes, and the tools and hardware to take this apart, and then the little guide to re-punch the holes. Now, after I take this apart, I'm probably not gonna use their blade. I was gonna use this guy right here because it's a nice little razor blade, but why not just use a damn Hawkbill, boy? Actually, you know what? We opened up a Hawkbill. Maybe we'll just use that guy. Anyways, let me check this out. What do we got? You know what? Why would I use theirs? I can just use my own. It's T8, but they got a little thing right here, and this is cool. You can just put this on a keychain. It's got a flathead, a Phillips, a T8, a T6, and I think a hex head or something. I'm not positive, but that's cool. Always appreciate little like keychain tools and stuff like that, because they come in handy out of nowhere. You know, there's so many times where I need to just lock a pivot or something, you know. I have new hardware here for losing, so no big deal. Drop one screw into it. Let's push this off. Roll this out. Okay, so this is the part that we need to save. So we need to pull these out. Okay, we're just gonna cut this gun right here. Oh yeah, nice piece of leather too. Now I can, no, if it didn't have the plastic coating over it or whatever that stuff is, I could use it for stropping, but I could sand it off. Now, this goes right here. Then we do a punch tool. Got to get a big ass framing hammer for this. I'm just cutting it in so I can see them. Sucker got in there, didn't it? All right, next one. Bang, look at that, nice and clean. I should have been a leather worker, huh? And then all those things just, did they pop right out? I don't know. They're stuck in here. So I guess you just drill something. Yeah, you just go like that. There you go. And you got these little discs of leather. And then this goes in the middle. And then wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Let's hook this sucker up. Moment of truth, take off my USA made Hanks belt. Love these belts. These are my favorite belts, but today we're talking about this belt. Hey, and this might turn into one of my faves. I needed a black belt. I only had I mean I have one, but not a wide one like this, and I like wide belts. So this actually worked out. Okay, so those like this, like that. So I'm probably gonna shrink it. It actually pretty much worked. I could have made it a little tighter, and honestly, I felt like I could have from the start. I wanted to make sure just in case I could just take some off. So yeah, this worked out well. I would just, instead of the way I did measure it, I would just measure it tight, you know, and which they said, so, you know, they weren't wrong. So now that's all I got to do is do it again, just trim it down just a little bit so that this part ends right here. I want to just go under this flap right there. And yeah, it feels like a nice durable belt, nice and wide, thick leather, basically the same as the one I have. Yeah, this one might be slightly thicker, but it's still a nice, thick, durable belt. So there you guys go. Check that baby out. By the way, I will link everything down in the description. Next is the Sitivian ST162, and this thing is super, super smooth. I think this might be the smoothest liner lock Sitivian I've tried. And there is quite a few things I like about this, but I think this thing is so unbelievably ugly. I hate this eyeball pivot thing. It just does not do it for me. Also, this hole deployment, you know, while it functions, it's ugly. Maybe you can get one of those disc things that'll clamp right there or something. One thing I do like is that it's got this nice thinly ground, very nice satin finished blade. I love, love, love this blade shape. Nice leaf shaped blade shape, almost like a spear point. It's like the tip of a spear. Really good for utility cuts. You could choke all the way up. Nice slicing. Like I said, it gets down nice and thin behind the edge. Blade steel's AUS 10. I like AUS 10. From Flipper, you know, the detent is not super strong on this, so it winds up being super fidgety, but it's a little wide for a front flipper. Ergonomic, we'll go back to that. Ergonomics are really good because it's contoured and thick and chunky, but it's thick and chunky. So this is big and thick. You know, it's not, it looks like it's supposed to be a small knife, but it's a big knife. That's kind of the way it looks to me. But the front flipper, the distance is, I can get to it no problem, so it's not like it's hard to get to, but it just feels like you have to like spread your hand real wide to get to it. So not that that's a huge deal or anything, because it's obviously very fidgety. Deep carry clip, but hey, again, button screws. What's up with these button screws today? Look at that. So it's like you don't have that much room. You have this much room. I don't like that. I don't like this lanyard hole. Access to the lock bar is good. It is very smooth. Rock solid. Lock up. So yeah, it's pretty cool. If it's your style, you know, it's decently built. It's built fairly well. Sitivian does a good job for the money. Typically, they're very, very affordable knives. So, you know, I wouldn't spend too much on them because they are budget, you know, they are budget knives, but they're decent quality budget knives as long as you're not paying too much. But I don't like, lately, man, their designs have been just so unbelievably ugly. I don't know how it's selling for them. People just, there must be a certain group of people that really like this crazy look, this weird look, because to me it's not even crazy because I love crazy, but this just looks almost obnoxious, like a painting or something. It just doesn't look like it's supposed to be a knife. It looks like it's trying to be, I don't know, something else. Anyways, not that big of a deal. It does have really good balance. Wow. like surprisingly really good. But like I said, it's nice and wide in the hand. So hey, it could be a good knife. It's just, like I said, I just think it's damn ugly. Next is a beast. This is the Arrma from Miguron. I'm not sure if they changed anything on this. M390 steel. This thing is a brick. Look at how thick that blade is. This thing is robust. You are not going to worry about. This is a knife you could pry with. Aside from, and I'm not telling you to pry with it, so don't take it that way. I'm saying that this blade is a blade that on a fixed blade or on something that wasn't just a frame lock, you could absolutely pry with this thing. And I would say even with this being a folding knife, you could pry light duty stuff because it's so thick, you're never gonna worry about snapping this blade, even with M390 steel. And I know they're not running their M390 very hard, so. Titanium frame lock with this nice, beautiful diamond pattern over the clip and over the handle. I like that. That looks really smooth, looks really good. Lots of heavy milling on the inside of the handle, so it definitely brings down the weight. It does have a phenomenal detent for the reverse flick, the thumb flick, and the flipper tab. Both of them work well. I can feel it still needs to break in, and I'm saying that just because, you know, I can tell this thing's gonna be a guillotine. You could just tell. Just give it a couple days of flip, and this thing will be ridiculously smooth. Cut your fingers off smooth. T6 hardware on the clip. I don't know why they did that. Plenty of room for TH. Should just did TH across the board. It's always better. I like that they do the steel lock bar insert. That's always a nice touch with the titanium frame locks. Ergonomics are really good. Very good choke up spot. Sharpening tool and plunge grind could be a little bit better. They did give you 1 or 2 sharpenings in there. Good access to the lock bar. There's a lot of cool here. This is a big knife. It's a cool knife. Definitely something tough. If you like hard use folding knives, this is like having a Medford that's refined. I know Medford has really done a lot of changes the past like 2 years, 3 years. So the stuff that they used to do, their stuff's becoming really good. Like they've got some stuff down pat, and some of their work is just massively improved. So I'm not saying that in an insulting way. I'm just saying that this has a very Medfordish feel that you know, that just has very modern deployments and actions, which Medford has been doing. So I'm not saying he hasn't. I'm just saying that this has that robust, super tough feeling with a very smooth ceramic bearing action. That's what I'm trying to say. With a great detent, which, like I said, man, they've been doing really good stuff. So I'm not taking that away whatsoever. But, and I know he'd be insulted if I if I compared a Chinese knife to his, but it does have that feeling and that look of what a lot of people probably, you know, expect from a Medford to some extent. So very cool. Anyways, this is just a quick first impressions. I like the Arrma. I always have since it came out. You know, I do have my nitpicks and negatives for Miguron that I wish that they would improve, like some of their clips and things like that. And then these cutouts right here, put them on the inside. That will always help and improve your pocket clips and the way they are. This one's good though. This one has no problem, you know, going in and out of the pocket. So anyways, there you guys go. If you guys like this type of content, 1, hit the like button. 2, I'll put some cards up on the screen for you to click on so you can watch more of my content. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.